Well, we are back with Fireside Chat this Thursday. We hope that you had a great week. We hope that you have gotten your lunch. You have your lunch right now, ready to listen. We are here with Miss Alisha Small, and we are about to go in. Our focus is on self care, and I'm pretty sure that you would love to hear about self care. And so, if you could go ahead and like this video, share this with someone who you have heard recently that says they're just stressed. Go ahead, share this video, and we are about to go in. All right. And then if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, I raise, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel at I raise. And LinkedIn, if you're at LinkedIn, go ahead and share this with your people so that they can come in as well. We are ready, Miss Alicia. And how are you this day?
I am doing very well. Of course, taking very good care of myself. The my schedule is starting to ramp up with speaking engagements, workshop facilitations, and then myself, my children, and my husband. Our birthdays are all back to back, so I'm preparing for my daughter to turn 10 in exactly a week. She'll be 10 next Thursday, and so we have family coming in and things happening back to back. So I'm making sure that I pay attention to myself, what I'm feeling, and taking extra good care of myself.
I love and so to let people about you, I would just go ahead and highlight some things and pinpoint some things about you and who you are so we can be more familiar with you. Is Alicia is as a life coach and founder of Living Fulfilled Coaching Consulting. Alicia serves as a mental health advocate, presenter, and a workshop headed for National Alliance on Mental Health. She also worked with many organizations to teach men, women, and children to use self care as a way to balance the duties of everyday life. Not only that, she serves as a mentor for girls at the ages 11 through 19 at various organizations such as the Girl Scouts of America, Women Who Create, Every Girl Can, Stella Girls, Raise Girls International. And that is so amazing. That is so amazing. All the things that you are doing, and also serving and volunteering to for these communities. And so, my first question is, what inspired you to be a life coach?
Well, I'll give you the very, very short version of a very, very long story. So I opened my first service-based business back in Brooklyn, New York, where I'm from, in 2016, which was a private children's transportation service. And during that time, I want to say right before COVID, I had was going through my own personal issues, and through
Mhm.
my own personal development, investing heavily in my own personal development, I got really interested in what, at the time, what other women were going through, not just other women entrepreneurs, but, mothers, and whether you worked a 9 to 5, or whether you were in corporate, or whether you were stay at home mom or caretaker. I wanted to know how other women were addressing their total wellness and how they were cultivating their womanhood, what issues were they going through, because I knew I wasn't the only one. And I started to take like a deep dive in, starting with the women in my family, from my sister and to my mother, and really deep diving into what was my model, was it even taught, how did that look, what did that look like, the empowerment, the betterment of women, and the wellness of women, and how did I want to redesign it?
I definitely love that because we need people more so focused on and in that area. Also, you deal with self care, you deal with mental health. If you could to let us know what is mental health, and is mental health even for everybody?
Absolutely, mental health is for everybody, right? Because we all have mental a capacity that we have to take care of, just like how we have our physical wellness and our emotional wellness and our social wellness, how all of those things have to be taken care of and cultivated and grown and nurtured. I believe that your mental health is the first thing that you have to start with. That was the first thing that I started with. I dealt with a lot of issues as far as high functioning depression, emotional eating, just dealing with unresolved past traumatic experiences. And one of the biggest things that I learned along my growth and development journey was that I didn't have an issue per se. Like I'll single out like weight loss. That was something that I dealt with, fluctuating weight throughout my entire life. And what I learned when I was trying to find out, well, I can lose weight, but I really can't stay here and I keep falling back into this place. And what I learned was that I didn't have a weight issue, I had a mindset issue, right? And it
Wow.
wasn't until that everything else started to fall into place. So once I really made a solid decision about how I wanted to show up in the world and I was intentional and unapologetic about it, it wasn't until I was able to get all of those other areas of my life. So to answer your question, yes, it is for everyone. I believe it's a prerequisite to success in all areas of your life, and that should be a focal point.
Wow. It wasn't a weight issue, it was a mindset issue. Did y'all just catch that? If you're watching, if you even listening to the replay, like, did you catch that? Drop something in the comments. Let us know that you're here, let you're listening. That was good because we think that it is the thing, but we have to get to the root of why certain things is the way that it is. And so you said something about first starting. So with the mental health. So how does that look if a person doesn't even know about mental health, they was not taught about mental health, and even in like black communities, it's like we dance around that topic. You never hear that word in the homes. How can you start even discovering about mental health, about their mental health, and getting on the right track? How does that look for that person?
So I think a lot of it comes with strengthening self awareness. I was able to develop what I call the Living Fulfilled coaching 5-step approach to implementing intentional self care. And out of all of the things I did, I just bottled it up into 5 things. But first and foremost, one of the things that you have to do, just I look at self care as total wellness. So, in dealing with your mental health and emotional, physical, social, financial, all of those things together, it comes with first making a decision. How do you want to show up in the world? Whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're a teenager, like how do you want to show up in the world as a woman? What type of woman do you want to be? What type of man do you want to be? Right. And then you can start looking at your core values and beliefs. And then when you start looking at things like that, you can see where the gaps are, where the holes are, how you don't want to feel, how there may be issues that may be coming up. It could be from the past, it could be from the present. You start to see those things clearly. But you actually make a solid decision. Okay, this is not the best version of me. I want to be
Mhm.
this, or I want to look this way, or I want to feel this way, right? And so then once you do that, you can start to visualize your future. What do you really want? right? What do you really want out of life? What do you, how do, like I said, how do you want to feel? How do you want to spend your time? Who do you want to spend your time with? What type of job do you want? Do you really want to be an entrepreneur? Now you start to question, throw these questions out there to yourself, kind of like coach yourself or whatever. Or if, um, or you can, you know, you can hire someone to partner with, to help partner with you and help you critically think about these things and start to single them out. And then once you have a clear vision of who you want to be, right, what type of legacy you want to leave, you see your the best version of yourself clearly, right? Now you can start to create space for yourself to start to build some self-awareness, right? And because if you don't know who you are, you can't possibly know how to take care of yourself, right? And so
That's
now you start to figure out, what do you like, what do you don't like. You start to figure out what bothers you, what doesn't bother you. You start to figure out who you are and what you need as the person you are in that moment, and but then also taking accountability for what you are and what you're not doing, right? And that's hard for some people to say, well, maybe I've been being my own worst enemy, right? Start to figure out, um, the current beliefs that you have right now. Are they serving you? Are they serving the best version of yourself, or are they not? Do you have to learn new things? Do you have to unlearn old
right.
beliefs? Right? And then once you build that self awareness, you have a strong source of self awareness, and you know exactly what you need. Whether that means, I need to go to therapy, I need more
Mhm.
mental, I need a coach, I need to call on, I need to talk to this person more. Whatever it is that you need, in that moment, and then you can start creating self care goals around that.
I love that because you just gave us a whole coaching session. You just, it was so good. Like, somewhere to start, and it comes with self-awareness, and that comes with valuation, asking yourself questions. And she gave us so many questions to go back and even ask ourselves, and to start somewhere. That was definitely a good start. I love that. And then we're gonna pivot and to the self-care. I love this part of what you have in your bio, where it says that you work with many organizations to teach men, women, and children as a way to balance the duties of everyday life. And so, because this is a stress awareness month, how can someone balance their daily responsibilities, their life responsibilities, while meeting the needs of other people?
So I would definitely say, and thank you for reading that back to me, because I actually want to change the wording. I actually want to take out balance and put in harmony, right? A lot
Mhm.
of times things are going to be unbalanced, and I'll just speak as a mom of three, as an entrepreneur. I'm still a student. I do a lot of things, and sometimes I have to be here more than I'm here. But because I am rooted in routine, self care routines, and consistency, and just constantly investing in my personal development, it's not something that's on my to do list. My self care comes off the
Mhm.
top, so it's merged into everything that I do. So I would say, as far as, stress management and having it in harmony, I always tell people self care is not one size fits all. What's self care for me is not
Mhm.
self care for you. So I know that we have access to so much information, and people are telling you, you should do this and you should do that. That's not really my approach, because I can't tell you to journal. That may not be for you, it may be for me. So I always encourage my clients, anyone that I'm partnering with, whether they be, in elementary school, whether they're children or whether they are adults. Okay, I ask them, what brings you joy? What calms you? Right? What are some things that you love to do? What feeds your soul? What feeds my soul doesn't feed your soul, right?
That's right.
right? So I always encourage self-care is what works for you. Stress management is what works for you. Some people like to listen to music. Some people like to dance. What I would say is make sure that don't make it a part of your to-do list, because then it's going to make it feel like a chore. Or, oh, this is something else that I have to do, when taking care of yourself should always come first. So if you like, so for example, if you
I'm
like
sorry. Can you repeat that? Taking care of yourself should what?
should come first. So I always use the example like, okay, so financial self care, when you get paid, you're always supposed to pay yourself first. That time for yourself is always supposed to come off the top. So one of the biggest self care myths is, I don't have time. Yes, you do have time. It's not a priority to you, right? And so I would say, for example, if a stress reliever for you is listening to music, if you have to cook. So one of the things that I do is I do like to listen to music. So how I make it in harmony with everything that I do, even if I'm cooking dinner for the kids, I have Alexa here. So I say, Alexa, play, and while I'm cooking, I'm listening to music, or I may be cleaning and I'm listening to music. So now this is a part of my routine, and it's in
Mhm.
harmony with everything that I do. It's not like, oh, okay, this is number 89 on my to-do list and I'm going to do, it's not a chore, it's a necessity.
Oh, you're just dropping bombs, gems, all that. Somebody put some like fire emojis because this is a good, like, it's so good. I'm gonna even have to go back and watch this a couple of times. What makes you happy? What brings you joy? What brings you peace and calmness? So I love that this is more so like you evaluating yourself to have mental health, but also self-care. Like, I love that we got some emojis coming on in. Thank you all for tuning in. I am Jerica Brumfield. This is Ms. Alicia Small, life coach. She focus on self-care. And so question is, what does a healthy lifestyle look like?
I can tell you what a healthy lifestyle looks like for me. So for me, and I think that you mentioned right before this question, I think that I remember you mentioned what brings me joy or what makes me happy. So I'll merge the both of them. So I really don't operate in happiness, because happiness is affected by external things. One minute you're happy, somebody may say something, then you're sad, or it's up and down, right? So I like to I've learned to operate more so in joy. Joy is internal, and so nothing that happens outside of me can disrupt my joy, right? I choose to be in joy every day, right? We always have a choice. Um, and then within that, what was the second question? I want to say stay on target.
So just what does a healthy lifestyle look like?
So for me, a healthy lifestyle is routine, structure, and consistency. So I have a lot of things that I do for myself, but they are rooted in like routine. So I get up in the morning. I have three children. My youngest baby is 5, and he's an early bird. So I make sure that I'm up so that I have that alone time to myself to pray, to exercise, just to have that silence and get myself together before the rush comes, and to pour into myself to fill my cup with what brings me joy. I go to therapy. I am pro therapy. I go to therapy every 2 weeks. I have mentors. I have coaches that I call on and pull on to learn from, advice, and just to make sure that as as I rise in my career, as things get more, as I speak more, as I do more workshop facilitation, as I do more things like this, that I am constantly equipping myself with the tools to be able to handle life as it comes. I love to travel. I love to be with my family. I am passionate about servant leadership. So, volunteering, giving back to my community, whether it be monetary, my time, mentoring, whatever it is, whatever I can do, that means a lot to me. So that feeds my soul. Um, that is a healthy lifestyle for me, making sure that I'm taking care of my body, just making sure that I'm making positive deposits in all areas of my life. So that's what it looks like for me.
That's good. So let's just flip that. What does a unhealthy lifestyle looks like? Something that we may think is healthy or look healthy because we're so used to doing it every day. What does an unhealthy lifestyle looks like?
I would think anything that isn't aligned with the healthiest version of yourself, whatever that may be, right? So I told you what a healthy lifestyle looks like for me. It may be different for someone else. So I would say whatever is not aligned with the best version or the healthiest version of yourself. If you were doing things, so um, let's say you want to be, just for an example, just throwing it out there, let's say you want to be 50 pounds lighter, you want to start your own business, you want to spend more time with family, you want to have more healthier relationships, you are having, you want to fix some financial issues and some social issues. Anything that's going against that is an unhealthy lifestyle. Anything that's not aligned with that, or your goals or your core values and belief, is unhealthy. So I
Even
can't
if
say,
it seems good.
even if it's, like you said, if it seems good, even if it's a was a part of your family tradition. I talked about having beliefs that no longer serve you as the person that you are today. So unlearning is very important, and it's okay. At first, it's uncomfortable because it makes other people uncomfortable, right? Anything that you do that is outside of someone else's belief that they don't understand makes them uncomfortable, and at times it can make you uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable, but it's necessary. So I wouldn't say anything in particular because for everybody it's different. But what I say is, if you have dreams, if you have goals, and you are doing anything that goes against that, you are around people that don't support it and that goes against that, then that is unhealthy. If it doesn't bring you joy, if it doesn't fulfill you, if it's not feeding your soul, it's unhealthy for you.
So what does unlearning to relearn look like? How do a person unlearn something they're so used to doing? It's just it's wired in them. How do you unlearn?
So I think the first thing you do when you want to unlearn, again, we talk about that self awareness piece, right? Actually knowing what it is that you want to unlearn, knowing that you want better, knowing that there's something about that. You may not have all the pieces, or you may not have all the people that you need to help you get to this place, but you are aware enough to know, I don't like this, or I don't like how this feels, or I want to change, but I really don't know how to change. That's the first step, recognizing that there is an issue, or there is something that you want to improve upon or make better. And then I think, again, taking accountability, right? That's a really, really, really big part that a lot of people, even myself, I went through, because it's hard to admit that you're your own worst enemy, or no, I'm not really, my what I'm doing, my habits, my routines, on a day-to-day basis are not lining up with what I say that I actually want, right? And so I think that in this day and time, it's really easy because we have access to so much information. So what you really have to assess is, again, do you really want what you say you want, and how bad do you want it? How bad do you want this change? Because if that's the case, then you're going to go get the information, you're going to create the space to figure out who and what do you need to make this change, to make these habit changes. And once you figure that out, consistency is key. It's not really about how much you're doing. And I'll give an example. So I'll go back to my weight loss. I had gained a lot of weight during the pandemic, and so then when I started to make that change into a healthier lifestyle, I had had some back issues because of the weight, and so I couldn't really stand up for long periods of time. So when I started back to exercising and walking, which I love, I did 2 minutes a day. 2 minutes is the people will be like, oh, it's 2 minutes, but I did it consistently. And by the end of the year, I was walking a 5K three times a week. And I actually ran.
Um,
I don't do too much running anymore because it's hard on the joints, but I love to walk. But what the point that I'm making is 2 minutes turned into 5 minutes turned into 15, and 15 turned into an hour, 3 times a week.
Woo! That right there. And he actually used the cuss word. He said consistent. Consistency. And so, but that is good. We need to be consistent. We'll be able to see great results being consistent. And we're gonna be ending up, but two more questions. The first one is, can you give some people out there some um little to start even doing self-care? What could they possibly do? I know it's going to be up to their liking, but just can you throw out a few things that people can start doing to get on that self-care journey?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can do for self care. I mean, it's always a conversation of what self care is and it isn't. And I'm definitely all for the maintenance part of self care, whether it be getting your manis, your petties, or going out to eat or shop, or doing all of those things. But I also would encourage people to look at the other side of self care, which I call is the dirty work. That's the internal work, right? Because that's self care too. Healing is self care, right? Going to therapy, going to counseling, even if a lot of people are not ready to do therapy and counseling. So some people join support groups of like-minded people that they can relate to, that may have been through some of the same situations that they've been through, or talk to a family, a trusted family member. Those are a part of self-care. I would say we live in such a fast-paced world. We're working, we're taking care of children, we're going to school, we're doing all of these things simultaneously. So creating space for yourself to be alone with yourself, that mindfulness piece, right? To have that time to yourself, to have that silence, to slow everything down. And a lot of people say, oh, well, they think that they don't have enough money. I love just stepping right outside my door. If you're at work and you have lunchtime, you go outside. 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight will not only boost your energy, but that's all you need for your body to produce natural vitamin D. That's for free. 10 to 15 minutes. We spend that on social media like it's nothing, right? Making sure that you sleep well. Sleep is essential. If you are, I know for myself, my skin is clearer, my thoughts are clearer. I'm really big on naps. I'm at the point where naps are in my schedule. So making sure that you get to bed on time, making sure that you have enough sleep. What else can I say? The alone time, the mindfulness, having that peace, that silence, um, making sure that you you laugh a lot, you smile a lot, do the things that cultivate that, getting some sunlight, getting some fresh air, standing next to a tree. Um, it's so many things that you can do. So those are just some examples. But again, I'll say create the time and the space in this loud, fast-paced world to be with yourself and really start to write down things that really truly bring you joy. I always ask my clients, like, if money wasn't an issue, if time wasn't an issue, what is it that you would be doing? And start to do some version of that until you can get to the bigger goal.
That was a lot. That was good freedom. You don't have to pay. for it. So, last thing, how can people find you? Like, can you give us your socials and information?
Yes, I am on all social media platforms. Alisha Small. Instagram is Alisha Small underscore. I think Twitter is Alisha Small 33, and Facebook is Alisha Small 84. It's the same on LinkedIn as well. And my website, I just re-released my newly branded website, which and it's long, guys. So it's www.livingfulfilledcoaching.com. You can find out more information about me there, the programs that I have, the one-to-one, the group coaching, and the group coaching program that I'm going to be releasing in the next couple of weeks. You can click to get on the wait list to find out more information about that. And just follow me on all social media. I'm super responsive when I have the time to be. I love authentic human connection. So I'm here. Thank you so much.
I love that. Enjoy Miss Alicia. Even if you're watching replay, go ahead, put some hearts, something, like it up, share this. She gave a lot of free, good information on here, something that we can use to start like right now. Get you a clean notebook, go through the questions that she actually put out today so that you can start your self care and mental health journey. And so, thank you once again. We want to shout out Miss Shaniqua Moore, our host, our the one who's over the fireside, and we want to shout her out. Go ahead and follow Miss Moore. Her information is right here on the screen. We do also to tell you all about the executive coaching program. You can iraiseinc.org coaching program. And then we also have the Atlanta Rise podcast. And so you can catch that on Spotify, Google FM Player, iHeartRadio, wherever you can listen to stuff. I'm pretty sure you can find the Atlanta Rise podcast. And so we want you all to join back in on next week on Thursday at 12:34, the fireside chat, and hope you all have a great rest of your day. We will talk soon. Bye.